pleasure to bring on board Dr. Anish Shah to talk about numbers going forward. You know, the impression all of us have is that auto industry is going through a slowdown. There are problems, there are discount, but you are growing when others are slowing down. Why is that? It's a good problem to have, but why is that?
Good morning, Nikunj, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. I would give all the credit to our associates. I think there's been a lot of hard work gone in. The vision and the reboot that you talked about was for us to really go back to our DNA, what Mahindra stood for, being bold, delivering products that have outstanding quality, and that's what you see now. Having agility and moving fast in terms of what we do. And what really gives us comfort about the results this quarter is that it's all our businesses coming together and performing well. Our services businesses, in fact, had more profit than our tractor business, which is doing exceedingly well, again, in a tough industry. But all our businesses are now starting to fire on all cylinders, and that's something that we're very proud of.
You've increased your guidance and you are talking about new launches. This is confidence, but you are going ahead with your commitment to go ahead with new launches and increasing your guidance when industry per se is struggling a bit. Inventory levels are high. There's a lot of talk that the second half will not be as exciting as what the first half was.
So that because I think it's a function of the products that we have, because we've tried to develop products that are not only best in their segment, but compete with maybe even a couple of segments above that. The quality of the products is something that stands out. They're very distinctive. And that's the reason why we see a very high level of demand across multiple products that we've launched over the last few years. And that's what's helping us stay well ahead of industry.
How much of your growth is a function of the price cut which you took? Because you did take a price cut, 7 to 8%, even though it was a planned price cut, but I'm sure it significantly helped you. Is that one of the factors which helped you on an aggregate sales?
So that was only on one particular product, which was the XV700. And that, in a sense, was passing on the lower costs we had. And we had been signaling that for about 6 months. There was slightly lower cost from a commodity standpoint. And we had been paying a lot more for semiconductors through the crisis for a couple of years. And as that eased out, those lower costs also were passed on to the customer. And yes, that has helped. That, in hindsight, was a very good decision, which was good for the consumer, which increased the volume significantly, and overall, from a financial standpoint, was good for us as well.
Okay. Uh, if one looks at the industry data which came post Diwali, the wholesale data and also the retail data which came out from FADA is very, very impressive. So can I say this entire view which a lot of investors and a lot of market men have about high inventory levels that needs to be changed?
For us, at least, we have not seen high inventory levels. In fact, for many of our products, we are still on a little bit of a backlog. We prefer not to be in a backlog, but we have increased capacity significantly and trying to catch up on that. So for us, it's a good problem to be in a sense, and we really don't have excess inventory.
Mahindra and Mahindra has benefited immensely because of premiumization in the auto industry. The blitzkrieg of SUV launches is something which really has been the differentiating factor. But at this juncture, when the market share of SUVs is greater than 50%, uh, can the momentum really stall a bit? Do you worry about the base effect that could kick in?
So the auto industry overall still hasn't grown very well over the last few years. The penetration in India is far lower than many countries around the world. So there is significant room to grow in the auto industry overall. SUVs as a percent of overall auto will likely still grow. And yes, at some point that will plateau because it really can't grow beyond a certain point. But for us, there is huge potential. Uh, we still are at only a 22% market share. We've gone up from 19%. This is revenue market. Actually, we've gone up from 13%. This is revenue market share I'm talking about. And we still have a lot more room to grow. We've got the right set of products. And with our electric launches coming up, we are very excited about what the future holds for us.
One more follow-up question on the auto space, and I just want to bring this point out for our viewers here, that there are times when a company reboots itself, and for Mahindra and Mahindra, I guess post-COVID, this entire premiumization benefit which came in because of SUV dominance, I think has been an extraordinary feat. Now the company moves into the next exciting phase of launch, which is the EV launches. Very exciting, challenging, yet innovative. So next 12 months, we will hear a lot of news from Mahindra and Mahindra. This launch, that launch, everything would be centered around EV. What will that change, and how will that change? And what should one focus on as a shareholder now because of these planned EV launches?
So EV is an exciting new product, and the products that we've developed will stand up to the best in the world, and that's something that you will see in a very short time. We already have outlined the teaser for our launch, which is on the 26th and 27th of November. And we feel that this product, the set of products that we have for electric, will really redefine the way people look at electric vehicles. In terms of what one would expect as a shareholder is continued operating focus. That's something we've been doing. We tell all our teams, keep our heads down, focus on what we have to do, keep the discipline, and continue to think big and deliver on our commitments.
I'll take the clock back, Mr. Shah, and then I'll take the clock forward. When the financial year FY25 started, there was a lot of excitement in terms of where the consumer demand was moving. Nobody anticipated this sluggishness which has kicked in for the sector per se in last 2 or 3 months. But as we move from the first half to the second half of this year, do you think we are in for a positive surprise? Can I assume that for the industry, the worst is behind, and for Mahindra and Mahindra, there could be a marked recovery going forward in terms of what the trends are?
Diwali was very good for everyone in the industry, and that definitely is a positive sign. As we think about the rural sector, our farm business, our tractors grew at 30% in October, and we have increased the guidance for the overall industry growth for this year as well. So that is a positive also. We are starting to see some green shoots there, and that's something that will help the industry.
If I look around, I can see a lot of exciting renewable companies have gone public, and they're commanding a lot of interest and commanding market share. You have a big growth gem, as you like to describe it, Sustain. What are the plans there? And nobody talks about it. I mean, I look at some of the recent listings. They are now commanding market cap of 50,000 to 1 lakh crore. What is your plan to unlock valuation in Sustain? Because that's the need of the hour, and that is something which everybody is excited about.
The first, what we've done is set up an InvIT, which is India's largest renewables InvIT, and that is a listed entity. Sustain is growing exceedingly well. We had a plan to add 1 gigawatt every year for the next 5 years, which would have taken the business up 5x. But instead, what we are seeing is a much faster growth. In the last quarter alone, we added almost a gigawatt, and the business is now relooking at its plans to say, can we grow at 10x and not 5x? In terms of listing for Sustain, at this point, we're not thinking about it. Our focus is really to build strong businesses. If it makes sense to list at some point in future, we'll look at it.
But you'll appreciate that media is always speculating that which is the next partnership or stake sale which is coming in. Are there any plans on the anvil? And when I say plans on the anvil, as in serious negotiations which have started, where you would like to look at a technology tie-up or a stake sale like you did in your EV business and any of your growth gem businesses?
So, Nikunj, that's one area where we continue to have lots of discussions on opportunities across all our sectors. And we've got a certain set of guidelines we've laid out and a very high bar in terms of when we would get into any such partnership because it has to make sense for our shareholders. And if we can meet that bar on any of them, at that point we will talk about it.
What is the next leg of unlocking which shareholders should really look forward to? The comeback in SUV, migration into EVs, tractors come back. We know about it, but knowing Anisha, I'm sure he's thinking beyond what we know.
Nikunj, on that, we've talked about the growth gems and a 5x growth, and we are seeing them very much on track. These are businesses which have great potential and have great positions in the marketplace as well, a very strong right to win. And not just renewables, which we spoke about, but if we look at growth gems across the board, from logistics, real estate, hospitality, classic legends, our aerospace business. These are all businesses that are at this point growing very significantly. So is our electric three-wheeler business, which has grown a lot. This is one where we had a stake sale to IFC and the India-Japan Fund. And from where it is right now, we're again looking at a 4 or 5x growth after having done that already.
Just to wrap it up with two more final questions. IT, financials, and then tourism. Three more listed entities. Which out of the three businesses I mentioned, as the CEO of Mahindra and Mahindra, where are you excited about? Which company and which business is on a cusp of a turn, not incremental but transformational?
I would say all three on that, Nikunj, because our IT services business and our financial services business both have underperformed the market in the past. In Mahindra Finance, we laid out a turnaround plan 2 years ago. We are well on track. A lot of good work has happened. Asset quality is very strong. And this is a business that is extremely well positioned in its marketplace and will do very well as we are seeing from the numbers now. Tech Mahindra started its turnaround plan a few months ago and again is on a good track. And hospitality has huge potential in India. And this is a business where the customers tell us that they have great experiences when they come to our resorts. We have 100 resorts in India today. And this is one where we're looking at expanding it 5x from where we stand.
Mahindra and Mahindra in a growth phase? Is Mahindra and Mahindra in an expansion phase? Is Mahindra and Mahindra in an investment phase? Can I say that these three words which I used all hold true for Mahindra and Mahindra for next 3 years?
We have seen that over the last 3 years. And yes, this is a path that we are going on the next 3 years as well.
There is one space, Dr. Shah, you'll agree with me that you are disappointed. Do you want to guess what I'm referring to?
No, I shall let you elaborate on that.
Cricket, sir, cricket, cricket. What is happening there? You are a cricket fan.
Yes, of course. That is a disappointment, but again, I'm an optimist and a huge believer in the India team. So I am sure there shall be a very strong bounce back on that front.
I hope so too. I hope so too. Appreciate your time, sir. Once again, it is not about this quarter. It's about what Mahindra and Mahindra has demonstrated in terms of a real cycle. So the shareholders are happy. Everyone is excited. You're growing at a rate which is higher than the industry average, and the outperformance in a stock is a clear endorsement of the good work you're doing.
Thank you so much, Nikunj. It's always been a pleasure being with you.